Wanda Carter has been missing since July 5, 1984 from Kansas City, Missouri, and was wearing a black pantsuit and a white cap when last seen at approximately 6 p.m. She asked a friend to babysit her three children, one of whom was only 2 months old, and dropped the children off at a friend's home in the vicinity of the 4500th block of Kensington before she went to work. Later, Carter called a friend, indicated she was in some kind of trouble, and asked for a ride home. She only had time to say the phrase, 20 in Kansas, before the line went dead. She never arrived home. One of Carter's friends claims he heard from her on July the 7th when she called him between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. She told him she was on Interstate 35 in Kansas and asked for a ride home. Her friend told her he could not pick her up and she said one of the men would take her home. Carter may have been riding a green Chevrolet Nova during this time period. She has not been heard from since. Carter dropped out of high school and had her first child at age 15. At the time of her disappearance, she had the 2-month-old baby, and her family believes she met with foul play, as it is uncharacteristic of her to abandon her children, and her case still remains unsolved. Social media outlets weren't available back then, and more than likely her disappearance rarely got a wink from the media. Carter was going through rough times, and her family indicated that she was involved with risky behavior and had some unsavory acquaintances. She lived a lifestyle which would lead her into being vulnerable to harm. Like many young mothers who work, 19-year-old Kimberly Wanda Carter often needed help babysitting her three children. It is unclear if she ever made it to work, as sometime later the phrase 20 in Kansas came up in the call. It is likely a reference to Highway number 20 in Kansas, which connects to U.S. Highway number 75 in the Kickapoo Indian Reservation to Troy, Kansas. Troy is approximately an hour away from Kansas City, Missouri, where Kimberly lived. Vera, Kimberly's mother, has since raised Kimberly's three children, who are now all adults. Ever optimistic, she believes Kimberly is still alive, commenting that sometimes when the telephone rings and nobody says anything, she feels it's Kimberly on the line. Others in Kimberly's family are not as hopeful, remaining anxious that she met with foul play. Kimberly LaWanda Carter, an African-American female, was born on April the 21st, 1965, in Kansas City, Missouri. She was 5 feet 3 inches tall and weighed approximately 115 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes, and she has single pierced ears on the lobe, and it still remains missing. If you have any information, please contact the Kansas City Police Department at 816-234-5136 or 816-234-5000. Or if you'd like to remain anonymous, please contact your local Crime Stoppers.